In this video, we'll go over how to make your first campaign on Facebook. Let's go. Welcome back to my channel, and today we'll go over making your first Facebook ad. But before we begin, if you're new here, be sure to subscribe for more content and comment below if you liked the video and like the video if you enjoyed it. So without further ado, let's get right to it. Today we're going to talk about making your first campaign or Facebook ad if you're a beginner. If you just run your first Shopify dropshipping store or just a Shopify e-commerce store in general, you will be running Facebook ads eventually. So in this video we'll just talk about going through how to make the ads from A to Z. So let's get right to it. So before we this is actually the dashboard of the Facebook Ads Manager. But before we begin, obviously you have to have everything set up. So for example, you have to have a pixel set up, you have to make sure it's integrated with Shopify or whatever platform you're using for your store. It's really simple, lots of resources online or on YouTube, other YouTube channels that you can follow. Also, you have to have your payment down as well, your payment options, methods of payment, things like that. So anyway, after you've done that, we'll actually go to create ad. And then you're going to be creating your first ad. Usually you're going to do guide creation, or you could do quick creation if you want. I'm just going to do quick creation because I'm already used to it. But basically what we're going to do is run a conversion campaign. So we're just going to go down to campaign objective, go to the drop down menu, and then click on conversions. So usually there's also going to be a naming convention for a campaign name. So usually it's going to start off as WC, website conversions, and then your product name. In this case, we're going to use this. Portable computer desk as an example. Portable for a computer desk. So we're just going to do portable computer, and then we're going to do. This is usually going to be gender. So in this case, it should be. Actually, no. It should be just like that. Sorry, my apologies. And then actually, it should be just code interest, so something like that. Which indicates that you're targeting people who haven't heard of your store before, or your product, or your website. So we're gonna go down here. Actually, we'll get to this later. And you click on Save to Draft after you've done all that. I'm just gonna put test, whatever. So basically, after you click on Save to Draft, you'll have something like this. I've already made it. As you can see here, the naming convention is exactly the same. We're gonna click in. And then we'll go to the ad set level. Usually there's actually 3 levels of, for Facebook ads. Usually it's a campaign at the highest level. Inside the campaign will be ad sets, where you can tweak your different interests and your budget and things like that. And then lower down will be ads. So you're basically tweaking the particular ads that will be shown to people. So different pictures, different videos, different different captions and things like that. And we like to call it creatives. So basically, after you've done naming this, we're going to go in to ad sets level. I've already done this part. So usually the naming there's also a naming convention for this, and usually it's going to be country, interests, gender, and age. So in this particular instance, we have U.S. We're targeting people who like Dell, the tech company selling computers mainly. Genders, so male and woman. Men and women, and then 25 plus. And usually we do 25 plus because those are the people who have a higher disposable income and are willing to spend money online. I'm not saying that people who are below 25 won't buy it, but usually they have less of an income to spend and they're more frugal about their their money and their spends. So we're just going to leave it at 25 plus. So for website, we're just going to do there's actually different choices. We're going to click on purchase. Don't worry about this, and don't worry about it being red, because once you've gathered some data and you've once you've gathered some data from your Shopify store, for example, people view your content and people purchased, it will turn green. So don't worry about that. And then down here we're going to set the budget. It's going to be a daily budget, and usually $5 will do for a new product that you're testing. And then start date, usually it's going to be midnight on the next day. So today is going to the 22nd, so we're going to do 23rd, scheduled for midnight. So actually, I forgot to mention, for countries, you can actually do different countries as well. It doesn't have to be US. You can actually do, some popular ones are, ePacket countries only. ePacket is basically a shipping option from AliExpress that provides, more express shipping. They have particular countries that they can use ePacket. I'm sure there's a list online somewhere, so you can just do a quick Google search on that. But basically, it's like a list of 20 to 30 countries that you can send to using that shipping options. So if you want to do ePacket, you could do that as well. Or you could do things like worldwide, which a lot of people do as well. So yeah, anyway, we're going to go down, and then we're going to go down to audience here. And then we're going to click on people who live in this location for locations. And then we're going to do the countries only. So in this case, we're doing US only, right? So we're just typing in US. So we're just excluding all this. Obviously, if you have different countries here, you can just put down the countries like Canada and things like that, like what I just did. If you're doing ePacket, you can actually just go to that website that provides the ePacket countries, and you can actually press add locations in bulk and then click on countries, and then you just paste the whole thing there. Pretty simple. So anyway, for age it's just going to be 25 plus. As we mentioned, I have this set already, so don't have to tweak anything. But it's going to be 25 plus, 25 to 65 plus. 65 is the maximum, I believe, so we're just going to leave it at that. Gender is men and women, so all. This really depends actually on the product that you're doing. Obviously, if the product is more tailored towards women, like makeup, you're going to do women only. But generally, the rule of thumb is you either do all or women, because if you just target men, the likelihood of you getting purchases is very unlikely, because most people who buy online aren't going to be women. So either it's going to be women only or both genders. So for languages, we're just going to leave it as is. For US, if you're in the worldwide, maybe it's wise to put English all, like this, like so. But in this case, we're just going to leave it as blank. And this is where we put the detailed targeting. So as we mentioned, we have 𝗿 as one of the targeting, so you can just, all you do is just type 𝗿, and then that'll be the first one. What you can do too is you can narrow your audience by something more specific. So let's say, for example, this is a portable computer desk. You can target people who like 𝗿 and who like to work from home, or like something like that. Is there a target like that? Yeah, something like that. And then, as you can see, well, the audience size here is a bit small. Usually it's more refined that way. But what people like to do also is narrow by engaged shoppers. So what this means here is, actually it shows exactly right here, people who have clicked on the call to action button, shop now. So when they see an ad, for example, on Facebook feed, and they click on shop now, they usually classify it as an engaged shopper. So if you want to make your targeting more specific and more refined, then you can always test having engaged shoppers there. But usually it's a hit or miss, because a lot of people do engaged shoppers for their targeting, and so you might be competing with a lot of people who are doing the same targeting and the same engaged shoppers refining. So sometimes it's a hit or miss, so it's up to you whether you want to do it or not. But what I found is that the cost per impressions are actually higher, and it's harder to acquire a customer that way. So anyway, we're gonna deselect expand interests. Always for e-commerce, should be given. And then for placements, we're going to go down here and we're going to click on edit placements. It should be, the automatic placement should be pre-selected. So we're going to click on edit placements, and then we're going to go down and deselect desktop, because most people who are purchasing from your store will be from mobile. So that's also another tip, actually, is to make sure your website or your store is optimized for mobile. What I mean by optimized, it's the user experience is very good. Make sure there are no glitches and no site speed like delays and stuff like that. Make it super simple and super easy to read and browse through. So anyway, we're just going to go down here and we're going to deselect everything but Facebook feeds and Instagram. Usually that's when we want to start off, because people who view the ad will be from these two platforms. So yeah, deselect everything here, as I've already done so. and it keeps going down. I'm going to leave it at all mobile devices, and then keep it as is. Conversions, you want to optimize with conversions because you're trying to get sales. Ignore this because I haven't properly set up for this dummy account, so forget about this. So for conversion window, we're going to do 1-day click review. Generally, that's the way to go. If you're having products that are $30 or below, generally I find a 1-day click review is better. But you could try 7 days click a 1-day view. I believe this is the default one for Facebook ads when you're just starting. But I would go with 1-day click review. And then after you're done, we're just going to close this tab, and then we're going to go to the ad set level. Click into it. So the naming here is just going to be the product name itself. I'm going to click on edit. And then, yeah, this is just my dummy, my fake account that I used to use. I don't use it anymore. Also, quick note, you have to make sure you have your Facebook page set up for your particular store. Yeah. So if you have an Instagram page, you can also connect that too as well. So right here, this is where you're going to create an ad. So you can click on create an ad, and then you can select the image, very straightforward. And then you're going to talk about, this is your caption, or your ad copy as we like to call it. And then this is where you're going to, trying to sell your product to your potential customer. So something like, this portable computer desk just made working a whole lot more comfortable. Something like a hook, like a very catchy title. And then you're going to lay it structured like this, usually. So you're going to do like a benefit, like lightweight design. Do like compact, bring it anywhere you like, something like that, whatever. I'm sure you can come up with better ones than this one because this is just an example. I don't know, like multiple colors, whatever. It's not really a benefit, but you get the point. And then at the end, you want to have a call to action. So what do you want your customer to do ultimately? So usually it's going to be shop here or get yours here. And then you're going to have an arrow, and then put your store link here. And then you got to put the store link here as well, the website URL. So you can see here, enter the website URL you want to promote. This is going to be your product page link, not your store link. So after we've done that, we're going to scroll down, and then call to action here, we're going to do shop now because we're trying to sell a product. As you can see, these don't really apply to us, so we want to keep it as shop now. And then, yeah, this should be a pixel. Should be in green once it's all ready. And then once you're done, you're going to click on publish. Another way to do it actually is to go to, you can actually create a slideshow or video here, by the way. It doesn't have to be an image. Yeah. And then alternatively, you can also look into, you can also use existing post. And then you go down to enter post ID here. So how do you find this page post ID? So you're just going to go to your pages. Obviously, it has to be the same Facebook page. This is not the correct Facebook page, so then it has to be you have to make sure that's congruent. So whatever here, this is just 𝗿𝗲𝘀𝗿𝗰𝗲, my fake Facebook page that I don't use anymore. So it has to be congruent. You want to make it in 𝗿𝗲𝘀𝗀, for example, here. So you're just gonna grab the ID here. It's just my dog. Yeah. So anyway, what we're looking for is this page ID, this page post ID. You want to copy this. You can also find it right here. You're just going to copy and paste it. You're going to go back, and then you're going to paste it here and click submit. If you're doing it in the right page, they should allow you to submit it. It says here I can't do it because it's a different page. But yeah, this is just another way of doing it. I would actually recommend doing this because you want to have all the engagement of the ad in all of your ad sets when you're making it. And so it's better to use the same ID for it. So once you're done, you're going to click on publish. And then it's going to publish at midnight and start running. If everything goes well and Facebook reviews your ad and it gets approved. But before you run everything and let it run and optimize, you want to make sure that you have other ad sets as well. So what you're going to do is you're going to click on duplicate right here, or click on duplicate here. Click duplicate, and then you're going to do it for all the different interests. Usually what we do is we do 4 interests each, or at least 4 to 5 when we're testing a new product. So we're going to do duplicate, And as you can see, this actually, my bad, sorry. It's supposed to be in the ad set level. I apologize, forget about that. Yeah, we're gonna duplicate it here on the ad set level. Duplicate it 4 times. Let it load for a bit. And then yeah, as you can see, it's all like a duplicate of this. So we're gonna change the target. The only thing that'll be different between all these ad sets is the different targeting. So you can see here, this one is 𝗿. So you can actually go to edit. You click on all these. You select all these, the duplicates, and you click on view and edit. And then from here, you can actually do different interests. You know, interest 1. This is up to you. Like you will have to do your own research for the interests, as we talked about. You can do things like different brands, different magazines, different people, different TV shows, something like that. Something related to the product. It's all down to common sense, so you know it shouldn't be too hard. So you can do something like this, and you can see the draft. So yeah, you can just go to all individually, each individual ad set, and then change the interests here, the detailed targeting. So if you're running out of ideas, you can actually use this Facebook suggestions tools. It's actually really useful. So you know you can target a different interest, like Lenovo, for example. Maybe Lenovo here, and then maybe for interest 2, we can do something different. We're just going to go to suggestions again. Then maybe Sony or MacBook Pro, something like this. And as we mentioned before, you can also narrow audience if you want to make it more refined, but I like to keep it more general, more broad, so Facebook can find, you know, has a better chance of finding the best audience for you. And then you're just going to do that for, you know, every single interest that you duplicated, you know, Xiaomi, whatever. You know, like we said, for this particular product, it doesn't even have to be related to electronics. You can just do, you know, random targeting options like, you know, Netflix or whatever, just as long as someone has access to a computer. So even like Amazon, I'm sure there's Amazon somewhere, Amazon.com, yeah, it's 300 million people, 69 million, yeah, that's perfect, it should be fine. You might want to narrow it though, because 69 million people, you might want to narrow it down to like people who have laptops or whatever. And then for the final interest, you want to do the same, like something like Acer Inc. and delete the original one. So basically, you're just going to have, you know, however many ad sets you have. Usually it's going to be at least 5 to 10, and then all with a single interest and different interests. So after you've done, you're going to click on publish, and then you're going to let it run. Usually you're going to let it run for about 2 days until it reaches about $100, and that's when you should know whether the product is good or not. So yeah, this is basically how you run your Facebook ads from A to Z. And yeah, I also forgot to mention that your columns has to be set up in a particular way. You want to be looking at important metrics, so you have to have the columns, you know, the proper columns in place. So just have a look here. The columns, these are all the important columns you should, you know, consider using. If you're not sure, you can just pause this video and then take a look again. The Facebook default columns are going to be different, so what you're going to do is you're going to go to columns and you're going to press customize columns, and then you're just going to find all of the columns that are, you know, kind of listed on the one that I have. So you know, you can just type it in into that and you can just choose it. So let's say impressions, you have impressions here. So you're just going to do that for all of the columns and make sure you have all this in place, because this is all the important metrics that you need to see. The most important you want to look at is the ROAS right here, the return on ad spend, and the cost per purchase and purchases. So that's the most important. So yeah, that's about it. Hope you got some value out of this. This is more of a beginner friendly video, but a rather long video for you guys, because I just wanted to go into detail, you know, how to set up properly your Facebook ads if you're a beginner. So yeah, if you got some value, make sure to like the video and comment below what you think. And thanks for watching, guys. Take care.